Zoe, give us your skincare routine. Hello everyone, it is Cremefatale. Welcome back to my channel. This is the look that you guys voted on. I posted on Instagram and on Twitter two different options for looks today to film. One was a minty sparkle fairy and the other one was a blonde bimbo Barbie. So obviously I did the blonde bimbo Barbie. So we did the mint fairy today. That one, they're both pretty close. I'm still gonna do the blonde bimbo berry. I
want to see blonde bimbo berry. That's the look I want to see.
Me every time I paint myself blue.
Yeah.
So those two were super close. Mint Sparkle Fairy only beat Blonde Bimbo Barbie by a tiny bit, but today we did the Minty Fairy look. I'm still going to do the Blonde Bimbo Barbie at a different point, so come back and watch that. But for now, take a look at how I created this Minty Lemony Fairy Sparkle Fantasy. I'm shooting this on the 4th of July, so there's a lot of explosions going on behind me. So there's that. I have a pretty vague idea of what I want to do for the Minty Sparkly Fairy. I have a few techniques that I want to try out that isn't like my usual like chisel drag face. Something that has maybe like a little bit more of a soft contour. I want to look kind of like cherub-like. So I usually don't plan out my look ideas. I usually have a really like vague concept of something that I want to do. Here's a general idea and let's see like what it turns into. Again, like we are learning makeup together. I've been doing this for 6 years and learn how to do different things every day. I like to try new things and sometimes those things don't always work out. So it's really important to keep in mind that when you're doing makeup, make sure that you're not in the mindset of like, if this doesn't turn out the way that I exactly envisioned it to turn out, I failed. That's not what it's like at all. Try to think of makeup as like, here's something that I want to emulate. Here's the spirit of whatever it is that I want to convey, and if you conveyed that with your makeup but it doesn't look exactly like what it looked like in your head when you thought of it, that's okay. There's no pressure to makeup. This is why it's fun. This is why people do it. So don't get too in your head about whether or not a look turns out exactly how you want it to. We're just experimenting here. We're just vibing. We're just like sitting around and playing with makeup. So I do have my regular, really quick, like 15-minute day makeup on that I put on this morning when I woke up. I'm going to go ahead and take that off, wash my face, and of course, I'm going to put my hair back. So I went ahead and washed my face, took off all my makeup, all that stuff. I have some eye cream on, I have a little bit of lip cream on, and this silicone-free priming moisturizer from Good Molecules. This is my favorite primer because it's like mostly a moisturizer. I'm not a huge fan of primer, especially for like an everyday face. I do wear a little bit of it in drag, but I think the best primer for like any type of makeup is like a really good moisturizer. So I definitely recommend try this one if you're not a fan of like the regular like silicone-y, like slippery primers. I'm going to use a little bit of that though. I also did apply my contact lenses. These are my Starshine Gray, the same ones that I wore in my last video. The next primer that I'm going to be layering over it is the DHC Velvet Skin Coat. This was also sent to me from DHC. I really like it. It's very reminiscent of like the Smashbox one. I'm just going to put like basically like half of the pea size amount, and I'm only putting it on the area around my nose. This is the only area that I really have like visible pores. So I am going to be wearing a wig today, so I'm going to do the usual thing that I do and put my hairline down with glue. So I went ahead and mixed up the color.
Two hours later. 20 minutes later.
Anyway, I already mixed together my colors. I have my minty color here, this one for the contour, and then just white for the highlight. I am using the same Clown White Light from Mayron, as well as my CC Beauty Amazon Flash palette knockoff. So in order to make the mint color, I took a little bit of this turquoise color right here, a little bit of the green and a little bit of the yellow, and mixed it in with that Clown White until it was like the perfect kind of minty shade that I was going for. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that now with that same kind of stubby brush. This is the one I showed in the last video, but I didn't use it. Okay, so since I'm trying like a rounder kind of look, I'm not like, I did it at an angle, but I'm going to soften it out. I'm not going to cut it later. I'm gonna let it like stay kind of soft. And then for my nose, I only did like this like Rudolph looking like dot on my nose. And I'm gonna just add like a little boop later instead of doing like the full contour and highlight, just to see what that looks like. I'm going to put a little bit of white on this sponge and blend it in with whatever like mint color is left on there, and then go over those highlights again just to kind of like soften everything out. I feel like I look like the Statue of Liberty. Did I ever tell you that I like auditioned for this like TV show? I won't say who, but like this like network reached out to me about an audition tape for like a brand new TV show. So they like had me do like looks, like they gave me some guidelines for like looks to come up with for like the audition tape, and I went to like 3 rounds of interviews and they liked me and everything. I don't think the show ever got made. I've never seen anything about it, but they wanted me to do a patriotic look, and I did the Statue of Liberty but like on fire.
Oh my god.
I don't think they liked it. It was a dollar store challenge, patriotic like dollar store challenge. So I like went to the dollar store and I made like a dress out of like a plastic tablecloth, and then like bound myself with like red metallic rope, and then made like flames out of construction paper and then put them all over myself. It was really funny because like they kept bringing up the fact that I was like too old for the show. They were like, this age range is like from like, it was like for like young teenage kids to like young adult. I think it was like 21 or 22 was like the cutoff, and I was already like 26 when they like reached out to me. I'm not used to seeing myself without like a defined like nose contour at this stage, so it's gonna be like really interesting to do the makeup and see how it turns out. Okay, I'm gonna go through now with my RCMA powder and set my entire makeup, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and do my contour now. I am going to go for that super soft contour versus like that super snatch contour that I normally do. I'm going to start off by using the Creepy Cute palette from formerly Shroud Cosmetics and now Shroud Cosmetics. I definitely recommend checking out this palette if you like pastel colors. This is kind of like a pastel goth palette. Their shadow quality is really amazing. They're really beautiful pastel colors that show up really beautifully in a lot of different skin tones. I am going to be using the shade Creep It Real, which is a really, really minty color. I'm also going to be using this old Morphe brush. I don't know what the number for it is. I literally had it for like 5 years. No like harsh lines, and just building up that color. I'm going to take it on the forehead too to like give me like a bronze for like the mint color that I'm doing. Holy
dang.
You hear that?
Yeah, I felt it.
This is like too much. They've been going off since like 3 in the afternoon, like in broad daylight. Like, can you even see fireworks in broad daylight? Like, what's the point in that? I'm going to go through with this Real Techniques brush and go through with Keep It Real and just do like kind of that area where your eye socket is in the brow bone. Oh my god. I ended up saying like several times. Too many times. Like. So I apologize. I'm from California. This is our native language. So for the second round of the contour, I'm going to be going into my Norvina Mini Cherry palette. And I'm going to be doing both the baby blue shade and that green shade right here. They're both like fairly minty colors. I'm going to mix both of them to try to get like a really nice like deeper spearmint color. Yeah, that works perfectly. Oh no! I got a little bit of that pink on the brush. So I'm going to tap it out with my sponge, and then I'm going to set it, and now I'll go over it again with more contour. So things like that happen. Everything is easily fixed, so always remember that. When you make a mistake with makeup, you can literally just erase what you did and do it all over again. There's not a lot of pressure when applying makeup. when I started doing drag, there were a lot of drag queens that I knew that would just like have like a total breakdown if like something didn't turn out right with their makeup and then everything was ruined. Try to like keep calm when something bad happens with your makeup and just keep going. You might come out with something different than you originally started with, but you might like it too. So what I'm doing now is going through with this color from ColourPop. This is called Lookin' Fresh with the ColourPop F5 brush. It's kind of like in between those two minty colors that I was using to contour. So I'm kind of just using that to like melt everything together. I'm just going over like where that meets like the highlight and buffing it out. It's just overall like making everything look a tiny bit softer. Next, what I'm going to go ahead and do is go into Sugarpill Taco like I did in my last video. I do have a minty color going on, but I still want my under eye to be like really bright. So I'm going to dip my sponge into the taco and push that underneath the eye. Okay, so I use that taco to highlight my entire face. Next, I'm going to go in with this Amazon palette, that yellow color, and start drawing out my eyebrows. Again, eyebrows probably won't be completely even. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm going to start it off just above that area where we did that crease and bring it up and out like that. Okay, so now that I've filled in most of my brow, you see that front part here is missing. I'm going to take a small concealer brush with a little bit of Clown White on it. I mixed in a tiny bit of that minty color, but not too much, just so it's not like stark white. And then I'm going to ombre that by shimmying that color in to the front of the brow. Perfect, just like that. I'm going to go in with that sponge and that RCMA powder and set that eyebrow. Now with a small brush, I'm using the A14 from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm going to dip into my Sugarpill Buttered Cupcake, which is a really bright yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in that brow a little bit with some more color. Now I'm going to go in with that same watercolor brush, a little bit more of that yellow. And then I'm going to flatten out that tip and use that to create hair-like brush strokes in the front of the brow. I'm going to clean up around my brows. I already know that I set, oh Jesus. So I'm just like really lightly cleaning up. I think they look okay. I'm going to go through with my Anastasia A26 brush and Butter Cupcake by Sugarpill. And use that on the front of the eye. I'm just like tapping into here and bringing it in about midway, I think. Now I'm going to go in with that Norvina Cherry Green color. What color is this? C2. With that MAC 227. Tap it out. And then use that on the other half of the eye. So I finished the shadow on this side with my cut crease. I want to do this side. I'm not too worried about making this super precise because we're going to cut a big old cut crease into it. Now I'm taking my ColourPop E9 brush with Creep It Real from the Shroud Cosmetics palette and just using that to kind of like blend out that dark color and also blend it in to the yellow. Now I'm just taking a small concealer brush. This is my Morphe 224 brush, the one that I've just been using this entire time. I'm going to go ahead and do a cut crease on the other side. So now that my cut crease is completely done, I'm going to go ahead and take my A24 brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills and I'm going into that Feeling Fresh color from my ColourPop palette. And I'm going to do that to the inner like third of that cut crease. So now for that middle part of that cut crease, I'm going to tap in some yellow. I'm going to use the color Sweet Spot from this ColourPop palette while I have it right in front of me. It's very similar to Butter Cupcake. I'm just going to pack that on in the middle. Now I'm going to do the rest of that cut crease in the Feeling Fresh Minty shade. Now I'm going to take that A14 brush with a little bit of Sugarpill Taco and do my inner corner just to brighten that area up a little bit.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
I love this drink.
I love that. Absolute acai. Oh my god.
Absolute acai. Ugh.
I love that drink.
So I'm going to use this KVD tattoo liner And this is just like a free sample that I got. I do like the brush tip of it. I am gonna go ahead and do like the lower and bring it up just so I know like where that line is gonna be. So I'm gonna go through with C2 again, that like kind of spear minty color with that A14 brush and do the lower lash line. Not like that. Now I'm going to go in with Creep It Real again and do the front part of that lower lash line. I can't find my spatula, so I'm going to use like the end of this brush and take out a little bit of that yellow color from that palette, put it on my hand to like warm it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take that Beauty Blender, tap it into that yellow, and do yellow underneath the lower lash line. Oh, that looks really pretty. I'm going to go over the nose too, just really lightly. I'm going to do the chin a little bit. Cute! So now I'm going back with the F5 brush. I'm going to dip into that Better Cupcake from Sugarpill and set that yellow. I'm going to go back into Creep It Real with that brush that I used to contour and kind of marry those colors together a little bit better. Doing that and a little bit on the nose again. I am going to add a little bit of pink for the blush. I'm using the Buxom blush in Ibiza. And this is with the A22 brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm literally taking it and like just tapping it on the bottom, a little bit on the nose. Then I'm going to take my brush that I used for my translucent powder and just kind of like marry all of it together. I love it. It looks like I have like cherub cheeks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeliner now. I am using Jet from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Any black gel liner will do for this part. Now I'm going to go back to that Creepy Cute palette using my Anastasia A24 brush in the color Void, which is just a really black. I'm going to set my gel liner. So I just went over this eyeliner with the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner. I'm going to do the same to the other side and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and did the liquid liner over the gel liner. I'm going to go ahead with that NYX white liner now and do the inner corners of the eyes on the bottom. So I'm going to do that to the other side, and as usual I'm going in with the NYX white liquid liner, and then I'm using Sugarpill Taco tapped over it while it's still wet to set it. Okay, so now that I've done the white on the inner corner on both sides, I'm going to go in with that tattoo liner again and just redefine that bottom line. So now I'm going to do my lips. I'm going to start off with the ColourPop lip liner in Starship. This is from the Sailor Moon collection. So now that I did the lip line, I'm going to apply Sugarpill Doll Up liquid lipstick. It's like a really soft peachy pink color, which I think is perfect for this look. I'm going to grab a concealer brush with a little bit of that mint color and clean up the lip line. Again, just having a little bit of product on the brush, not too much. So I'm going to add the little boop to my nose. I'm actually going to make like a larger boop than usual because I don't have that nose contour. So I'm going to add some highlight in the form of glitter because I want to be like super sparkly today. I'm going to avoid using like a regular highlighter and just go for a straight up glitter. Might as well do it. I'm going to use glitter adhesive from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm just going to use that brush to apply a little bit on my cheeks and then tap it out with my finger. Then dipping into some glitter. This is Frosted from ABH. Has a little bit of a blue shift to it, a blue-green shift. I'm going to do a little bit on underneath the brow, and then a little bit in the middle of the nose here to kind of give like a really glistening highlight. I'll do a little bit on the boot and a little on the chin. So now I'm going to go in with the Electric Cake Liners again from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm just going to use the white and use Dewy Set to activate it. I'm using the same brush that I used for my brows that I cleaned off. And I'm going to do kind of like starburst shapes all over. I'm tapping Taco right in the center of that starburst just to set it. So I did a bunch of starbursts all over my face and then also did like those little twinkly marks, ones that's like just the X. I did those like under my nose, around like the bigger starbursts. Now I'm going to go through and add some stones to like make it like super sparkly. I'm going to go ahead and do a few on the white liner on the inside, and then I'm just going to place them like all over the face, like close to the areas where the larger starbursts are, so that we get like a super sparkly, like all around stoned face. What I'm going to do next is add a little bit more sparkle to this and go in with that glitter adhesive from Anastasia Beverly Hills again on those like starbursts, and then tap glitter into that too. So I went ahead and did my porcelain bottom lashes from Sugarpill. They look very pixie-like, so I'm going to use them again. And then I added my base lash, which is just 2 Anastasia Beverly Hills lengthy lashes stacked on top of each other. So for my top lash, I added a 301 XL from Rockstar. You can use my code CREME10 to get money off on Rockstar. And then also added a Supreme lash from Sugarpill to the top. They're very spiky. And again, I'm going to apply it like sideways, like slanted this way. So I have both of my lashes on now. The next thing that I'm going to do is add even more lashes in the form of paper lashes with stones on them. These were made by the drag queen in Chicago. And I'm just using my lash glue to apply them and placing it wherever I want. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm going to go ahead and put on my outfit and my wig and my gloves and my jewelry, and we'll be right back. So this is the final look. I have on my Wigs by Tips Rockstar wig. So these are 2 Rockstar wigs that were styled by my drag moms and wig stylists at Wigs by Tips. You can find them on Instagram at Wigs by Tips. I'm also wearing my Makiko Girl gloves. I wear a lot of Makiko Girl gloves. They make really, really beautiful gloves that are just stoned. They have all the nails. These are like a really beautiful minty color. I think everything like turned out exactly like the essence that I wanted to capture. This like kind of citrusy, minty, like very spring. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the process, seeing the transformation, sis. Turned out I'm going to take a bunch of pictures and then take it off. And also we're in quarantine, so we're not going anywhere. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you on the next one.